Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon to all of you. Somebody was asking me, generally we see you at this slot, and I told that everybody had their tea, are totally awake, and we can interact more openly with them. And fortunately, I am talking to you on the eve of Valentine's Day. So I would like to just see in this room that how many of you have a loved one. It can be family, it can be wife, it can be kids, it can be friends, it can be, and even if you don't have, rest assured, the best part is that people have survived without love but have not survived without water. So you will still survive, no questions at all. The second inference is that if you have a loved one, that shows that you love water because they are 70% water. The figures are astonishing. If you look at it, we are saying that 70%, the total water that we have, fresh water, only 2.5% is what is available for human consumption. And out of that, more than 70% lies below the polar ice. The remaining which is there is the one which we are consuming and using. Similarly, if you look at the nexus between water, energy, and food, you will find that 65% of the water gets used in the agriculture, grows food for you. And the other staggering thing is that out of those 65%, the food that is grown, more than 40% of it goes waste. So ultimately, you will see that the vicious cycle that we are in is going to lead to various conflicts. And any one of you who have studied history will be able to easily find that the civilizations have come across wherever the water has been there. Be it desert, be it land, be it ice, any place, any weather, wherever there was a trace of water, the civilization has prospered. And as we say that if you understand water, you understand life, you understand cosmos, and you understand what's happening in the universe. When we talk in terms of the resources, if you look at water, be it commerce, be it transportation, sanitation, migration, or survival, water is an integral part of every aspect of our life. We are talking about more than 11% of the people in the globe who don't have any access to the drinking water. And since morning, we have seen videos as well as slides showing the condition in which people are surviving. It is predicted that the next conflicts are going to be in and around water. And we have seen a lot of conflicts happening because of energy, but the next round will be based on water. When we talk about water in UAE, the statement of His Highness General Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan is very clear that for us water is more important than oil. And everybody understands the way water conservation is going on, that this is going to make large difference, because when you produce water, you need energy. When you need energy, you need to cool the turbines, you need water. So ultimately, there is the interdependence which is huge. If you look at the consumption data of the globe, you will find that Europe and all the other parts of the world, it has remained stable. The Middle East, which is the top portion, you have seen a gradual increase. And it is expected that by 2050, there will be a 40% increase in the demand of energy and water both in this part of the world. And if that is going to happen, the current sources are not sufficient to fulfill it. There is only one source of energy which doesn't consume water, and that is sun. If you talk about political boundaries, look at Nile River, look at Ganges, or look at the top European rivers. You will find that most of them are crossing various countries. And if you look at the boundaries, 263 watersheds are there which are across the political boundaries. These are the major reasons of conflicts. There was a very beautiful article which was there. If you'll see the upper African region, Nile is one of the sources which is crossing Egypt, which is crossing Sudan, which is also crossing some of the other countries. And if you will see, the construction of dam have been a major source of conflict. And if we look at India also, it is Nepal, China, we are talking about Pakistan, and Ganges River remains one of the major source of conflict, that who is going to put up the dam and who is on the higher ground puts up the dam, automatically the water at the lower level gets stopped. So this is one of the major reasons where we see that the water resources are going to cause major conflict. If you are looking at energy, be it Iraq, Syria, Nigeria, South Sudan, Ukraine, East and South China Seas, all these conflicts are purely based on energy conflict. There is no other reason for the conflict because these are very heavy source of energy. And ultimately, these are the two most precious sources for revenue for the government as well as the communities in terms of resources. So you can very well understand that those who sit on the energy sources or water sources, and one of the migration things that's happening across Europe, Europe is right now fighting for the immigrants, those who are coming from all across the globe. One of the most important concerns that is there is water, because that is the source of one of the purest water sources in Europe. They are not even treating it, and in terms of the lakes that are there, so they don't want that water source to be disturbed. If you look at the data, you will see that in terms of, if Germany is to be studied, you will see that the river was the main source of full development of the economy from, it was a downstream projects, and be it automobile sector, be it any of the manufacturing sector, it was based on the downstream concept across the river where the transportation cost became zero or negligible because you are using the gravitation and the local forces to ensure that it gets shipped from one place to another. Similarly, if you look at the output from the top 10 rivers basin in the world, in 2010, it only contributes 10%, but in 2050, it is expected that roughly around 25% will be contributed because of these 10 rivers. So ultimately, you see that for national interest, energy and water are going to be two of the prime concerns for any of the government across the globe. And ultimately, you will see that it won't be any other commodity that is going to fuel. It is energy and water which is going to fuel any third world war, because ultimately these two commodities contribute the majority of the reasons for the food, which is the third one. And for the national security, already we are talking about food security, energy security, and we heard the term in terms of energy poverty and water poverty, which is right now one of the benchmarks for the global indexes. People are demanding clean energy because they also understand that the emissions that are happening are also detrimental to the health of the planet. We make 1 megawatt of energy, we'll end up using a lot of water. Vice versa, we have to grow 1 kg of food, and this was a very good data which was given today that for a plastic bottle of water, where you are just consuming half liter of water, 4 liter of water has gone just to produce this plastic bottle. All of you must be following, whether it is UAE or across the globe. One of the greatest quests that is going on for the humankind right now is to conquer the space. And we are sending our missions to Mars, we are sending our missions into the unexplored space. But if you will see, the first question that is asked when any exploration is done, that is there a chance of water on that planet? That decides whether the investment will be done in reaching out to that planet. But there is a second part of it which is never spoken, and that is that in 1960, when Russia and US decided that they are going to explore the space, the foremost reason was energy. They wanted to find an alternate source of energy which can supply and ensure that when the fossil fuel runs out, there is still something left for the humankind. So that will easily show you that what is the importance of water and energy in our lives. And with that, I would like to thank you for being a very patient listener. Thanks a lot.
Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Mohammad Tariq, Executive Chairman, Paradigm Pioneers Group, Dubai.